As restaurants and small businesses like this local winery continue to be affected by COVID-19 restrictions across Washington state, owners are having to go to new tactics to get customers inside and buying products. The owner of this local winery tells me that she's had to increase discounts by up to nearly 35 to 40% just to encourage people to come inside and purchase. Despite a global pandemic, Microsoft and Sony have both announced that they will not delay their expected console releases. Microsoft, which will be debuting its new edition of the Xbox Series X, will launch on November 10th, and Sony will launch their PS5 on November 12th. With pre-orders skyrocketing, this has led to a lot of controversy over which console will be better. I decided to speak with some gamers themselves to see how they feel about the new console war heating up. With the measure being approved, voters signaled that they wish for a 2020 law mandating sexual education starting in kindergarten, such at this elementary school here. However, with that information, we want to know what's next for both sides of the argument. As the fall season progresses, people are beginning to jump ahead in their calendars. November is shaping up to be a wild and potentially heated month, but not for the reason you might be thinking of. Brand new next-generation tech consoles, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, are set to be released this November, causing gamers from all across the world to be fired up and chomping at the bit to get one in their hands. Despite a global pandemic, Microsoft and Sony have both announced that they will not delay their expected console releases. Microsoft, which will be debuting its new edition of the Xbox Series X, will launch on November 10th, and Sony will launch their PS5 on November 12th. With pre-orders skyrocketing, this has led to a lot of controversy over which console will be better. I decided to speak with some gamers themselves to see how they feel about the new console war heating up.
The PlayStation 5 is going to be better because I think the exclusives for the PlayStation 5 are going to be a lot better. They have God of War. Yeah, I also don't like how big the Xbox Series X is. It's too big for me. And it looks stupid. It looks like a poster box.
Probably choose Xbox Series X. I'm not going to go to a PS5. I've never been a PlayStation person, especially because more of my friends have Xboxes than PlayStation, so I wouldn't be able to, do stuff with them anyways. I've heard PlayStations are a piece of crap, so.
Probably the Xbox. PlayStation has a really weird setup with how they use shapes instead of letters. Their controls are just so absolutely stupid.
Despite the wide array of differences between the two choices, gamers are excited for the chance to obtain a new major console for the first time in 7 years. November is looking to be a wild month for more than just one event. I'm Leister, Murrow News 8. Washington school districts will now be required to teach sexual health education to most students under a referendum approved at November 3rd. Although only 4 Washington counties had more than 60% approval rating, nearly 60% of all Washington voters casted a favoring vote for Referendum 90, the first sex health education mandate to ever appear on a statewide ballot in the United States.
With the measure being approved, voters signaled that they wish for a 2020 law mandating sexual education starting in kindergarten, such at this elementary school here. However, with that information, we want to know what's next for both sides of the argument.
Courtney Normand, who operates the Safe and Healthy Youth Washington organization, said that the votes approving this referendum show that the majority of Washingtonians have a compelling support towards comprehensive sex education for young people because they share in essence the same goal.
We want our children to grow up safe with bright, healthy futures, to make sound decisions, have happy and fulfilling relationships, and to succeed in school and in their lives. That means working together as a community to protect our children from sexual assault and abusive relationships, unintended pregnancy, and sexually transmitted infections.
There still remains a big swath of Washingtonians who are displeased that this referendum passed. People who had campaigned against the approval of Referendum 90 state that their concerns remain that such a mandate strips power from local school boards and feel that certain topics are inappropriate for a school setting. However, they appreciate that students can be opted out of the mandated education under the permission of a parent or legal guardian. So while classrooms continue to be empty across different parts of Washington state due to the coronavirus pandemic restrictions, Washingtonians can expect a significant overhaul into the classroom curriculum when these rooms are once again filled with young minds ready to learn and grow.